Hello, and welcome back to the FarmCast, brought to you by 21st Century Equipment. I'm here with Dawson Chesnut. We're here talking about the Staheli West Dew Point Steamer right there behind us, bringing to you a real farmer that's using the equipment. And Dawson, I want your background on it because you probably know more about hay than I do. What does that really gain us in an operation?
Well, we don't have this small machine. We got a 6210, but it puts moisture in the hay when we're in super dry conditions, which this year we're in a lot of monsoon, so we're not using it a whole lot. But
How long have you used it for?
we've had it for 5 years.
Oh, okay. So you've had some seriously dry years.
Like last year, we were extremely dry. We used it probably on 80% of the hay.
Okay.
You never get behind trying to wait for dew or anything like that because you got all the dew you need with that thing.
So just maximize your amount of hours you can run it,
Yeah.
basically? Okay.
What we try to do, we still try to run at night when the sun goes down because it seems to work a little better. We start, as soon as the sun goes down, and we can run all night or run until the dew starts coming in, and then we can run without the steamer for a little bit, but it gives us a way larger window than we would have before.
So when you use it, basically what it does is just keeps the leaves on the plant,
Yes.
correct? So when you do that, does it what would you say if you were running in a real dry conditions and that thing was on the back, how much leaf are you saving versus the dry?
You can make hay that looks like 18 to 20%. Going through the steamer, it'll come out 12, 13%, and it'll look like 20% hay. So
That's pretty significant.
it'll make it look beautiful without, making it so wet that you're going to burn the stack down or something.
And so the bigger model, what does it get you versus this one, do you think?
It's just got more water and
Yeah.
capacity as far as I know. These are fairly new, so I don't know a whole lot about them.
How often do you have to refill it? How many gallons does it hold and those type of things?
All depends on how much steam you're using. I
Okay.
mean, we can use 1,000 gallons on 60 acres. We can use 1,000 gallons on 300 acres. It just depends on how the humidity comes in and what kind of moisture you got in the air.
And can you run this like any time of day, or is, like you said, you like to run at night? Do you still like to run at night with that thing, or is it less vital?
We like running at night because it's still, the UV still does something to the hay leaves.
Okay.
And the heat of the day, you can get your bales not so much hot from the too much moisture, but hot from too much steam because your steam's hot.
Right.
So your bale, inside temperature, your bale's going to get hot.
What temperature is that? I mean, obviously it boils it back there.
Right, it's water, it's steam is what you're doing. So, I mean, you got to pay attention. We run a bigger baler, so we got to pay attention to the inside core temperature of that bale.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's why we don't like running.
And how do you measure that?
We got a big old probe
really?
that we stick in the bale, and if we're over 150 degrees,
radio the guy, tell him to turn it down?
We shut it down
Okay.
because it gets too hot.
And that, does that have anything to do with the hay temperature during the day or anything like that, or not?
Yeah,
really?
because if your ambient temperature is 90 degrees outside
Right.
and you're putting steam on it, you're making it way hot inside that bale, and then there's no way to get it out of the bale, basically.
Right. Yeah. There's no way to cool it once. It's
I
done.
know guys baling with little balers, they can bale all day long and not have a single problem because the little bales, can
less,
breathe
right.
enough that it just, you leave them sit for so much and then they cool right back down.
And you said that this just overall, the amount of hours that you can do increases because of this thing? Like, you can
we can, if we're pushing and know it's going to rain, we can bale, in the morning for a lot longer and then till the temperature gets too high. Or we've baled it when the temperature's high, but you just got to pay attention to your bale heat.
Right.
So you might just have to go pick all the bales up and scatter them all out underneath the hay shed or something and let them breathe out for 4 or 5 days until they get cool enough that you can stack them.
Right. So my experience with baling technology is very limited. How much of a jump was this compared to where you guys were? Was it just a game changer altogether, or was it?
It looks like a lot, but once you get to run it and understand what you're doing, it's not that big a deal.
Display wise, easy.
It's easy. And one of the best things I think about the whole deal is the Staheli West company, because you can call down there
Really?
and they'll tell you anything.
They're just right there, ready to go, right? Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you get to talk to the owners and the kids and everything, and they'll tell you what they think, and they've run them. It's not just like, we've made this product, here you go, but we've never run it. Them guys farm too and bale hay with it.
Are they like the original designers and those type of things?
Yeah, they were original designer of it, and they sold the patent, and then that patent
It became what we have behind us, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. That's definitely an impressive piece of machinery. Is there any benefits to using any other balers or bigger balers, or like you said, with the bigger balers, is it the same benefits that you would see otherwise?
I think there's more benefits for the smaller balers, just because you can bale all the time, basically. We're kind of limited a little bit because our bale heat gets high, so we can't bale quite as long and bigger periods as these little bales can, because our big bales can't breathe as well.
And so,
But that's just part of the size of bale we got.
when you're cutting hay, could you use it on anything else? Is there any benefit to using on any other kind of thing you're baling, or is moisture out of the question?
I think if you're baling oats and stuff, it works a lot better, because when you bale dry oats, they get slick and they fall off the trailer, and they don't stack worth a damn. But if you use some steam, it holds it together and packs in bales nicer, and it works way better.
So, in your experience, you said the company's great to work with. Where did you guys source them out of originally? Did you guys get them from there? Or?
They had a field day when we watched them, and then, I started looking for a used machine, and we found one.
How saturated is that market? Is there a lot of them out there, or just is it kind of hard to find? Because there's obviously demand out here. It's very dry most years.
I don't think there's a whole lot of them around. You can find them used here and there, and at fairly good price too.
If you had to recommend one, would you recommend the larger or the smaller one after?
I mean, I like my big one. I don't know anything about them little ones, so
Right.
I don't know.
I wonder because you said it works better with a smaller baler. I wonder if the smaller one would work.
These are made for smaller balers,
They are,
and
okay.
the round bales,
Okay.
I think, is the market for that.
If you're running a John Deere tractor, the integration, do you guys use the display in the tractor, those type of things, or is it pretty much hands off?
As far as the steamer or the...
No, as far as the whole thing, the whole shebang, when you have it all together, is it all talking?
Yeah, it all talks together. I mean, we run our baler off the display in the tractor.
And would you say that's a benefit of going to Deere, is just that ability to talk to everything all at once, or is that? I think in my head
I think it's nice, because they do talk, and you don't have to have 12 monitors like I already have in that
Right.
tractor, because you got your Staheli monitor and your moisture monitor.
That Staheli comes on its own display.
Yeah.
Okay.
That isn't like something you can integrate.
Okay, it is. It's
No.
very.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's too much going on to be integrated.
Give me an
into a
intro,
job.
like what would be going on that display that would be difficult to.
Well, you
integrate?
got 4 different steam valves.
Oh, okay.
So you got to adjust 4 different,
settings all at once.
because you can adjust your windrow. You can put more steam on top of the windrow or the bottom of the windrow. It depends on what kind of moisture you got where in the windrow.
Okay. Because if you get too much on the sides or in the middle, what tends to happen? Does it bunch things up really bad, or does it?
You'll get wet spots in the
Yeah.
bales.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and you really got to know and look at your windrows when you're baling, and know what you have to put steam on.
And that's a given, though, right? You should be doing that
Right,
anyway.
right.
That's to justify the
Yeah,
means, right?
It's no different than baling without a steamer, but you really got to know with the steamer, because
Yeah, that's the reason you're doing it.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, give me some background on what your family's operation looks like, and what your day-to-day looks like as far as hay in this time of year.
So we're a centennial farm, 100 years, owned by the same family. We run roughly 2,500 acres. We have corn, wheat, alfalfa, and cows. We've raised marigolds, which is kind of goofy, but it's a flower.
Very cool, yeah. Would you say hay compromises what percentage?
Probably a third of it.
Is that where you spend most of your time, I'm assuming? This time of year especially?
Yeah, summertime is all about the hay.
Gotcha.
We're cutting hay all the time and baling and stacking or whatever.
And you said this is your family's farm, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You and your dad do it?
Yeah, my dad and myself, and I got 3 brothers, and out of the 3, one of them helps us too.
So thank you all for tuning in to this week's FarmCast. Again, this was Dawson and Scott Osborne. If you guys have any more future content or anything like that, it was really great to sit down and talk to an actual guy using the machine, a farmer, just down to earth people. We're looking for you. If you guys have anything else, just plop it down in the comments and we'll get to you. Thanks.